Imagine waking up in the middle of the open ocean. You have no brain to process thoughts, no heart to pump blood, and no eyes to see the horizon. You cannot swim against the current, and you cannot steer your body. You are completely at the mercy of the wind and the waves. To the humans walking along the beach, you look like a beautiful, translucent blue balloon floating carelessly on the surface of the water. They call you a jellyfish, but the humans are entirely wrong. You are Physalia physalis, the Portuguese man-o'-war. You are not a jellyfish. In fact, you aren't even a single animal. Your entire existence is a living sci-fi movie. You are a nomadic, floating collective, a biological colony of distinct organisms bound together so tightly that none of you could survive alone. To understand your life as a man-o'-war, you have to throw out everything you think you know about what makes an animal an individual. You are what biologists call a siphonophore. Instead of being a single creature born with organs, you are a cooperative colony made up of thousands of specialized microscopic organisms called zooids. Every single zooid in your body has a specific job, a specific shape, and a specific purpose. They function together so perfectly that they mimic a single, terrifying predator. Your life is divided into 4 distinct corporate departments, working in unison. The first department is the nematocyst, the sail. This is the single, gas-filled bladder that floats on the surface of the ocean. It is a stunning shade of blue, purple, or pink, filled with atmospheric gases and carbon monoxide. This bladder is your only means of transportation. It acts exactly like an old-fashioned warship under full sail. Your sail is even asymmetrical. Some of you are left-handed, and others are right-handed, meaning you catch the wind at different angles. This is a brilliant evolutionary safety feature. When a massive storm blows across the Atlantic, it won't push the entire species onto the beach to die. Half of the colony will drift left, and the other half will drift right, ensuring the survival of the line. But while your sail basks in the sunlight above, a nightmare hangs just beneath the surface. Suspended directly under your floating bladder is the second department, the dactylozoids. These are your fishing tentacles, and they can stretch down into the dark ocean for up to 100 feet. These tentacles are packed with millions of microscopic, spring-loaded weapons called nematocysts. Each one is a tiny pressurized capsule containing a coiled, hollow needle dipped in a neurotoxin. When a passing fish brushes against one of your tentacles, it triggers a chemical tripwire. In less than a fraction of a millisecond, the capsules explode with the force of a microscopic firearm. The needles punch through the scales of the fish, injecting a paralyzing venom that attacks the nervous system. To a human, a sting causes agonizing, whip-like welts. To a small fish, it is instant cardiac arrest. Once the prey is paralyzed, the third department takes over, the gastrozooids. These are your feeding tentacles. They act like a collective, communal stomach. They release digestive enzymes directly onto the fish, liquefying its tissues right there in the open ocean, absorbing the nutrients, and pumping the energy upward to feed the rest of the floating colony. The final department is the gonozooids, responsible purely for reproduction. They produce the next generation of drifting colonies, sending new clusters of cells out into the currents to start the cycle all over again. But despite your venomous arsenal, your life is not one of total isolation. Even a floating terror needs a companion. Deep within your deadly curtain of tentacles lives a tiny fish called the Nomaeus granovi, or the man-o'-war fish. This creature has developed a partial immunity to your venom. It lives its entire life swimming safely among your lethal needles, using your body as a shield against larger predators. In return for protection, the fish acts as a living lure, drawing larger, curious fish directly into your hunting net. It is a cynical, brilliant alliance built in the empty spaces of the open sea. We like to think of individuality as the baseline of life on Earth. We assume that to be a successful hunter, you need a centralized brain, a beating heart, and an independent will. But your life as a Portuguese man-o'-war shatters that illusion. You are a creature without thoughts, direction, and destination. You are a floating cooperative, a city of organisms sailing the high seas under a single blue banner. You're proof that in the vast, unforgiving wilderness of the ocean, true power doesn't always come from standing alone. Sometimes it comes from learning how to drift together.